Hey everyone, it's Mike from Copilot here, and today I am stepping in to do the 7:47 update. We send these updates every single Saturday at 7:47 a.m. What's new inside of Copilot CRM? So thank you all for being part of the software. I want to walk you through this, and the reason I'm stepping in is because our head of product is out for the next several weeks for paternity leave. So congrats to him. And his presence has certainly been missed, but he is working remotely, and we appreciate him. Let's go ahead and jump into what changed this week. Some of the new features at Copilot. The very first one is making all items on an estimate optional. So in the past, when the client was seeing this estimate, they can accept or reject the whole estimate. Whereas now, when they are in their client portal, they'll be able to have a checkbox next to each item, and they will automatically default to being all checked, because the vast majority of estimates, they do accept all the line items. However, now with them all being able to be unchecked, they can click accept on just the quotes or the line items of the quote that they want to accept. Therefore, then when you get this, you would be able to see, oh, okay, these ones they did not want, the other items they do want. And it makes it really easy for you to do upsells of a whole bunch of different services and at least put them on the quote without having any obligation of trying to clarify with the customer what they wanted to accept if they clicked accept and they didn't mean to accept all optional or all services on the quote. So super valuable, and allows you to be able to upsell customers much faster by having the ability for them to uncheck items from the client portal. The next big update is something that we've been working on for a very long time, and that is the automations. So we have our regular automations, which are usually great for one-step automations, one trigger, one action. And of the vast majority of smaller operators, that's going to work just fine for. But sequence automations, when you have multiple days or weeks, we are wanting to put together an automation over the course of time. Sequence automations works really well for that. And what we did over the past week is add in a whole bunch of more triggers. So we almost doubled the number of triggers that can now be put inside of your sequence automations. Same thing is true for your actions. So you can use and, or, and then you have a condition, an action, and now the actions that you can take are also significantly more. The or conditions, again, added a lot more different options in terms of whether or not things are included. So again, this is going to be for much more complex automations as you begin to build out. For example, you have a 21-day to close sequence. Over the course of 21 days, you want to be checking on whether or not the estimate was accepted and only send the estimate follow-up emails or text messages if it is still status is sent and not won or lost. That's the type of thing that you can build in here, and making sure that it stops the automation if that estimate, for example, is accepted. I don't want to keep following up with them. We also made this stop sequence optional, so you don't have to stop automations. They can be running infinitely in the background in case you want to be, for example, sending out a monthly newsletter with a one-click estimate email, and every single time that button is clicked, you want that automation to be triggered and you don't want it to be stopped. That can be done. So especially the triggers being added this time revolved around tags. So tags being a customer has a tag, tag is being added, tag has been removed, forms. There's a lot of stuff that we added this past week in sequence automation. So again, probably more useful for our enterprise level users, people that have used automations in the past, as well as some of our partners that really focus on building automations and giving that to their clients. All very useful in terms of sequence automations. Another thing that we were really happy about this past week as well is on the dispatch board. Underneath here, in the past, you were able to always see show stats, this button right here. But what I want to show you, let me just go back a couple days here. It's our test account, and see now when you show stats, there's more information, and it's super valuable. So if I select all my visits here for this route, when I click show stats, not only do I just see my budgeted hours, I also see the revenue. These are the two things that we've always had in the past, but now what we've added is the estimated drive time as well as the total distance of drive time. Super valuable, because if I add my budgeted hours to my drive time, I'm going to have a really good idea of how long this route is going to take to finish in terms of clocked hours. So we've always in the past just seen budgeted hours and like, oh, okay, usually people are about 70, 75, 80% efficient. If I have, 8.6 hours, that probably means this person will be working 11 and a half hours this day. Well, now I have a very exact estimate because I can simply take budget hours, add that to my estimated drive time, add in some lunch perhaps, and I know exactly how long that day should be taking in terms of clocked hours. So it eliminates the need to have any sort of wiggle room or guesstimate in terms of efficiency when it comes to how far they're driving on their route. Also, kind of cool just to be able to see the total distance in general, especially if you are tracking your trucks and all of a sudden it says 150 miles on the tracker and they were only supposed to be going 45 miles for that day. You might want to look a little closer. So, again, super valuable, and it's just very easy to be able to select whichever visits you want, a route, a crew, an employee, click show stats, and see that information at a glance from the dispatch board. The last thing we did is on the import, CSV imports. We added the ability and the columns to be able to import significantly amounts more data, especially when it comes to custom fields. We specifically look at other CRMs, the most popular ones that people are moving away from, and into Copilot and make sure that we can take all the columns of the CSV files that they export, that we can import them. So we're happy to say that we moved through a couple of those now, and that every single piece of data that is exportable, that they are willing to export in a CSV, we can now take in, including tags, custom fields, office notes, and a plethora of other data. For the sake of security as well as payment information, almost no CRM will ever be able to export things like payment information or job history, but just about everything else we can get, including the office notes, including the custom fields and the tags, and a significant amount of other pieces of data that are coming out of these CRMs. So super helpful if you're moving away from the CRM into Copilot to be able to make the transition smooth. So I appreciate all of you joining, being part of Copilot. And if you missed it, we did do a price lock guarantee for everyone that's joining in 2023 as a way of saying thank you to all of you. Your price for your monthly subscription will never go up. And so down the road, there might be changes to add-ons and things like that. But in terms of your monthly subscription, joining this year is going to lock you into the prices that we have currently on our software. And that's a way of just saying thank you to everyone that has joined early, the early adopters, and just give us a lot of feedback on the software, on the product, and just making it better every single week. Next month in October, we'll be announcing our first Bug Fest, where we're going to have all of our users get together on a live event, and we're going to find every single bug we possibly can. And the goal is to get as close to bug zero as possible. But at that event, we will give prizes and awards away to people that do find bugs, because our goal is to make it as bug free as we possibly can, and really to focus on the stabilization of Copilot as we head at the end of the year, as we've been really in an all out frenzy to build features and make sure that we can accommodate the larger companies. And that's what we will continue to do. Upcoming the next big thing that we're tackling is job costing and price matrices. You expect that in towards the end of October, and we're really looking forward to sharing that with you. All right, guys, have a fantastic day, and thanks for being part of Copilot family. Take care.